Hey, Brad, 3 games coming up in the next 5 days this week. I mean, from a practice standpoint, how do you manage that? Is it more heavy film study, keeping guys off their feet, or how do you go about that?
Yeah, it's mostly, trying to have enough energy so you can empty your tank on game day. So your film and walkthroughs, a little bit of light shooting and, just trying to keep guys as fresh as you can. Hard for us a little bit. Obviously, PJ's got some foot injuries, so he doesn't practice much anyway. We're down a little bit in numbers, so we really got to be careful. We've had to be that way for, different portions of the season, but this is obviously very challenging too. You got, especially, the first two teams, Duke and Carolina, are big, strong, physical teams. But all three, three of the best teams in our league.
We'll go to Alexis Cubitt. Go ahead, Alexis.
Hey, Brad, you guys have had some success against North Carolina in the recent years. I guess what has been the key to kind of overcoming that, their series lead, and just what do you kind of want to do going into that game tomorrow?
I don't know that it's anything in particular. We've, won a couple close games against them here recently, maybe. We got to compete at a really high level. Hubert's done a nice job. They're playing a little bit differently, still fast, and still rebound, and still a very talented lineup. But we got to worry as much about ourselves as we do North Carolina. Our team has been a little bit inconsistent at times. We're kind of managing not new roster, but a different starting lineup with Hunter out. So we've got to figure out the best way for our team to kind of compete in this game, in this week, more than as much, North Carolina. You certainly have to keep them off the glass. They're shooting the ball well from three recently. There's some things that they're doing very well. But our team's just got to be ready to really compete, and we've got to figure out some ways to help our guys on offense be successful. Excuse me.
Again, if you have a question, just use the raise hand tool. Matt Connolly, go ahead.
Brad, you guys have played well at times with Hunter off the court this year. Just why do you feel like Saturday, what went wrong, or I guess what happened in that game?
We didn't handle the zone very well in the middle of the first half, and had way too many turnovers. You go back and watch, and we did a pretty good job defensively in the game. Not great because we had some turnovers in transition, but our half court defense was pretty good. We had some guards that didn't block out and gave up some costly baskets in untimely situations, especially in the last 10 minutes. Offensively against the zone in the second half, we were great. We had 44 points and got it figured out. We just I thought we were a little anxious, just a little unnerved, and lost our confidence and maybe some poise in the game. I think that's where Hunter helps us. He's our team leader. He's our captain. He's kind of our most experienced guy. And then I think the other thing that happened in the game is just that, when you make Nas a starter, now you lose him as a guy who's an energy guy off the bench. And to be honest, our bench didn't play very well in the game. And Georgia Tech's did. Davion Smith came off and played well. And then Kelly made threes, and Coleman made threes, and so our bench got outplayed. We had a tough night where Nick and Alex didn't make any shots off the bench. So we got very little production off the bench. And they got very good production off the bench, and that was probably the difference in the game.
Then with PJ, I know you said he wasn't able to practice at all before the last game. Has he taken a step back at all, or is he about what it's been?
Yeah, it's just what it is right now. I don't know that he'll practice today, to be honest with you. Maybe he'll go 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops, but that's about it. I'm just trying to keep him fresh and keep him healthy and minimize the impact on him, and just see how it goes.
David Teal.
Brad, does Hunter have to have surgery?
Already had it, David. Had it
okay.
Yesterday? Friday. Friday he had it? Friday he had it. So I don't even know what day it is. So, yeah, he had it, went well. think he had a plate put in, and so yeah, they've gotten a hold of it and hanging in there. Thanks for asking.
Do they give you a prognosis?
Not really. Maybe there's an outside chance by the ACC tournament or something he can play. I'm not very optimistic. I don't know how you sit out a month and then all of a sudden you're going to be ready to go.
Yeah. Does it mitigate it at all this week that you don't have to get on an airplane and go anywhere? That at least the free.
Yeah, that's very helpful that there's no travel involved. So yeah, that part is good. Now obviously you still have school and you have other things that are going on, but you don't have to travel. You're sleeping in your own bed. That certainly helps this situation tremendously.
We'll go to Scott Kiefer. Go ahead, Scott.
Thank you. Hey, Coach. You've built an impressive track record with transfers, with your latest successes being Nas and David Collins. But to what do you attribute your success in the transfer market?
Some of the transfers we've had have been kids that we recruited the first time. And Tevin Mack, Shelton Mitchell, we even recruited Eli a little bit initially. So there's some kids that we knew and had relationships with. And so I think it was easier to maybe get them the second time in terms of the actual recruitment, them choosing you. And then also just, kids that we thought fit what we really needed. And I think we've done a good job of making sure that the guys that we bring in, it's when there's a direct need. David Collins this year, Nas Bohannon, 2 examples. We had a hole with Clyde Trapp not being here. We needed a big, strong wing. We really wanted a couple of older guys that way. I thought about bringing in a third, to be honest with you, because we have these young freshman big guys, but I really didn't want to kind of recruit over top of those guys. And so I didn't. And now, with an injury, you're kind of kicking yourself, wondering if you should have, but it's hard, but we've just been really good about finding the right kid that fits what we do and understanding, when we bring them in, this is our expectation. This is what we see you doing, and making sure that those ideas fit and they match. And so that there is some, there's a better chance for it to work.
Did it take you a while to warm up to the whole transfer approach?
A little bit, but that's several years ago. When I was younger, I didn't think a lot about it, didn't do as much, and it wasn't as prevalent. But, the longer you're kind of in it, the more I saw that it was going to this type of situation. I thought we'd eventually get to where we are now with kids being able to transfer and not sit out. And so whatever, our Sweet 16 team had a bunch of kids that were transfers, but they all sat out. And I thought there was real merit in that for them in terms of being with us an extra year or two. We've had a lot of guys that have been with us as transfers because they sat out 3 and some of them 4 years. And so, they've had, full Clemson experiences, and all of them graduated, and a couple of them got master's degrees. And it's been really good for us.
Take one more question from Matt Connolly. Go ahead, Matt.
Brad, are you pleased with guard play, or has it been a little more inconsistent than you were hoping for?
No, it's been inconsistent. And that's, it's problematic. It's hard to win. Those guys run your team. They're going to take a lot of your perimeter shots, and when they've played well, we've done well. They played well against Florida State on the weekend or during the week, and a good win at home. We didn't play very well. Not just Al made some shots, but our decision-making and some of that wasn't very good. Obviously we had some other guys not shoot the ball as well. So yes, no, it's hard to win if your guards don't play at a high level. There's a lot of responsibility there. Those guys taking care of the ball, kind of initiating your defense, and obviously making shots. And so we haven't maybe been as consistent at those positions as we need to be at times. And sometimes it's cost us. And then other times those guys have played very well. And that's when our team seems to have done better.
Brad, thank you for the time today. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you, guys.